BLUELOCK Chapter 351 has just released. We see the results of the other U20 World Cup matches as Ego explains to Rin why he's benched. Isagi and Rin get some time to talk about their egos as the final group stage game against England is fast approaching. I don't know about y'all, but I'm super hyped going into this England game. We got a lot to talk about this chapter, so let's not waste any more time and jump into it quick. The chapter picks up immediately with Michael Kaiser and Bunny Iglesias, showing them and their country's respective scores. This is coming as a surprise. I did not expect the chapter to open up like that. I always get giddy toes curling when I see the new gens, I won't lie. Kaiser at the top is gritting his teeth, veins popping and everything. I wonder what got bro like that, but we see Germany scored 4 goals against Korea with them getting 1. Bunny is here too, no sweat, just another walk in the park for bro, and a 5-2 score against Qatar. Unfortunately, we don't see who scored the goals on either side, so it's up to us to guess, but it's good to see them even get an appearance here after 7 whole months of being gone, which is crazy to think that much time has passed since the last time we saw them. The rest of the group scores are updated as well. There are way too many groups here, so y'all can just pause it to see, but I'll highlight the teams we're familiar with already, like last time. Brazil is topping their group with 2 wins and a goal difference of 5. Spain, we knew from the Bunny page that they have 2 wins with a goal difference of 6. Italy with Don Lorenzo is at the top of their group with 1 win and 1 draw. Again, they literally snubbed Lorenzo so badly, not showing him but showing the others. I'm so sorry for the Lorenzo fans, man. They're literally the chillest people out there, yet Kaneshiro doesn't give them a single crumb of bro. They deleted him from existence. And Germany, like we saw earlier, is topping their group with 2 wins and a goal difference of 6. But more importantly though, we see the score of Nigeria versus England, and oh no, 1-5. It's so over for Nigeria, dog. -4 goal difference each game, and their next opponent is France too. Hugo is literally about to send Kuso into another realm of shock. I was really hoping to see a reaction of Nigeria to England, like if Kuso was glazing Isagi, he must have been glazing England too. Said fish and chips is the best food of all time or something. Prayers for them, man. They didn't deserve to go out like that, and now they have to go against France. Hey, at least they did score 1 point, so we take those. I guess Isagi's speech did end up motivating Onazi. But with England's game wrapping up, we see the results of Group A with France on top, England in second with a goal difference of 3, Japan in third with a goal difference of 2, and Nigeria at a staggering -8 goal difference with 0 points. And for those who need a clarification of the rules, since Japan is lower in goal difference, that means they need to win the next match against England. A draw is impossible. We see the announcer remind us how only the top 2 teams will be advancing. France with 2 successive wins are already set to move on, which leaves 1 more ticket for Group A. As the announcer continues speaking, saying the next opponent whom Japan's fate is on the line is England, the motherland of football. It's coming home, folks. This will be a crucial match where the winner advances, with Isagi laying in the bath listening in. He takes a deep breath and then opens his eyes, getting a flashback to last chapter's locker room talk, with Ego saying, "But you won't be the one left out, Isagi Oichi. The one who's out is Rin. ITOSHI Rin." Isagi is shocked to hear this, with Bashra and Reo confused saying, "Huh?" And Rin, pissed as hell with veins popping out, says, "Hey, you 4-eyed loser," to Ego. Okay, here we go. We finally get to see Rin's reaction after that cliffhanger last week, and we see him stand up and get right in Ego's face, demanding why. Yo, y'all place your bets. Who's winning if they throw hands? Destroyer Rin or God of Football Ego? This might be on the next death battle. With Rin right up in Ego's face, we see Aiku panicking in the back saying whoa, trying to intervene, and Nanase hitting the flight reacts. Rin tells Ego that his drive to be #1 hasn't wavered, and it was Isagi and Karasu who were the ones who lost their nerve. Which in the context of best in the world, he's not wrong, but Rin, we got bigger fish to fry here. You sold that shot. Ego even agrees with Rin, saying he's not wrong, but the team can't be renewed with him around, which got Rin shocked. As Isagi is sitting down, Ego continues to talk, saying up until now, BLUELOCK has unquestionably revolved around 2 players, Isagi Oichi and ITOSHI Rin. That much was undeniable, but it only worked because of both of them continued evolving and driving each other forward, a symbiotic relationship. But during the France match, when Isagi stagnated, Rin also lost his options alongside him. He stagnated as well. And then when Isagi Yoichi regained his brilliance, Rin also returned to form. In other words, his current self is influenced by Isagi Yoichi's ego. And this realization is hitting Rin like a truck. I mean, even as a Rin fan, I can't deny that Rin was reliant on Isagi for that match. Let's be honest, we kind of already knew this though. Hearing the actual explanation from Ego though does hurt, as he continues to tell Rin that his game style is that fragile and that's why he's removing him. As Ego walks away, he tells Rin whether that ego of his is truly worthy of becoming the world's best striker, he needs to take another good look at it. And there is the mic drop coming from Ego. Bro had to aura farm walking away while saying it too. On a real note though, Rin definitely needed to hear this. I've said it before, but if it was anyone but Isagi or ITOSHI Sai here, Rin wouldn't have gone for the shot, so it's on him for that. But hey, when you're at the bottom, the only way is to go up. Am I right or am I right? We then cut over to Rin meditating in another room where he is chanting destroy and kill. Nah, never mind. This is officially rock bottom. My go, you gotta stop with this corny dialogue. You can tell Rin is just mad at the world, veins popping while he still continues to chant out loud, but that's when we see Isagi enter the room, which takes Rin off guard. And then Isagi, without saying anything, just walks up to Rin, places his mat right next to him, and then starts stretching, which pisses him off. Then proceeds to ask him, why is he here? Nah, Isagi hella funny for that, I won't lie. This whole sequence of a dead silence and pulling up right next to bro, especially after that whole locker room shenanigans, is peak. Rin, still agitated, says that's his line and to not tell him he's actually planning to do that stuff. And then Isagi says that that's just the mood he's in, with Rin pissed off saying to get lost already. Isagi ignores him though, still stretching, and tells Rin, doesn't it sting, after everything Ego said to him, with Rin just saying, huh? And Isagi, looking angry, says he's so frustrated that he could die. Rin then opens his eyes listening to Isagi, and he says that he thought he'd done his part at least. It's true that he was shaken by Hugo's play and mentality. It made him lose sight of Rin and his own ego. But after that, he realized the true nature of his ego again and managed to bring it down to a battle of luck. Isagi starts to meditate too and says that last shot happened because he felt that. In the end, both of us missed the shot and the game ended for us. But what they tried to do, it wasn't wrong for egoists to aim to be the best in the world, was it? ITOSHI Rin then jumps in and says, but we lost, and that's why they're in this mess. With Isagi telling him to not just look at the results, they were so close to a draw. Isagi says if you ask him, the biggest reason why they lost was that him and Rin failed to create a chemical reaction. With Rin saying nothing, and then Isagi out of nowhere continues to poke the bear, saying he never expected Rin to stick out his tongue like that, which got Rin pissed off yet again. And just peep Isagi's face, this guy is actually trolling. ITOSHI Rin gets benched after he volunteered as tribute, and like clockwork, this guy is just joking around. But let me shut my mouth, because Isagi says he's actually serious and came here because he wants to understand his ego's triggers better. He continues that he thought it might help him see his ego in a new light so that we can get stronger, which now got Rin side-eyeing Isagi interested. So Isagi using talk no jutsu on Rin here, and this gets Rin to open up about his origin, on how he wants to beat the guys more amazing than him. He wants to fight and risk his life to destroy them. Hey, he said the thing, y'all. Football with your life on the line. He says if he were to put it in the words of Ego, that's the compass of his ego's playstyle, which Isagi says gotcha, his ego idiosyncrasy, and Rin repeats it asking what Isagi means. Isagi then pulls out the geometry as we see a bunch of shapes, with Isagi saying if he were to combine it with what he realized in that match with Ego's theory, it occurred to him that the playstyles of people's heart all have their own ego idiosyncrasies. He gives an example of his case being a second best learner who wants to beat the number one is his playstyle, meaning his ego idiosyncrasy is rebel. He says for Rin, since he wants to risk his life to destroy opponents, he's a destroyer. Bachira wants to be a free monster, so he's a hedonist, and Rin brings up Shido, saying that blondie antenna freak would be a pervert, which Rin low-key speaking facts here. Isagi says humans with their own ego's game nature should have lived their separate lives, but sometimes things happen which are like magic spells you can't cast on your own. So he thinks chemical reactions require a harmonious connection of playstyle between egos. While Isagi is talking, we see a depiction of a bunch of people doing a bunch of things. People in a band, Igaguri's twin playing Super Smash Bros, a family having good eats, and definitely not us here because we can't relate to this. He then continues to say he's still not sure how to make it happen, so he came here to tell Rin so they can make a new chemical reaction, in which Rin says first he gets a bench, then he comes to give him a hint, from where where he's standing, he's no rebel, but a demon lord. Isagi says, gee, thanks, as we see a puzzle piece of Rin's destroyer mode. What Isagi wanted to say is that to become the world's best striker, he needs his larger-than-life ego, Rin. Aha! So see, Rin haters, even Isagi still wants Rin in the mix. What a guy, man. A shot sold, and he still wants to work together with Rin to fix the problem. But Rin says it's to devour it, isn't it? Bringing up how he's not even on the starting lineup anymore. Isagi continues to meditate with his eyes closed, saying he'll get his chance. Correcting himself, saying he'll make one for him in the next England match. As Isagi opens his eyes, both of their auras activating, and Isagi tells Rin, become our last missing piece to save BLUELOCK. Yo, Isagi single-handedly bringing the Rin stocks back up, and that's what we like to hear, my boy. I won't lie, this panel of both of them too goes extremely hard. With Isagi saying this, Rin looks serious too, as only time will tell whether or not the number 1 will rejoin in BLUELOCK, with the chapter ending off there. My son might just be back, y'all, but on a real note, there was a lot to talk about in this chapter. First of all, let's talk about the other World Cup matches. What possibly could have made Kaiser that angry? I don't really know, or maybe he's just locked in. They didn't give us any context like last time. It is cool to see him after a very long time. Bunny is just Bunny. They're dominating their game, and it's a damn shame we didn't get to see England's team or their players. Hopefully that time will come soon, because I've said it before, I think if they took some time to introduce us and develop the characters before the game, that could help with hyping up the next match even more, especially because we know the threat we're going against. Like, imagine if it was a single player from England, possibly their new gen, that scored a brace or a hat trick against Nigeria. There was 5 goals, so it could have been possible. Showing that would have hyped it up even more than just showing the score being 5-1, just like how Kaiser was hyped up after the hat trick. But again, there are still some chapters, so we'll just wait. Getting into the main context of this chapter, Rin is confirmed bench for at least the start, but the key takeaway is that Isagi wants to form a chemical reaction with Rin even in the England match. Now we can jump to conclusions and say Rin is confirmed to join in the England game, but even as a Rin fan, I'm not so sure about that. In fact, I would lean more on the side that Rin probably won't sub in this match, even though Isagi said this chapter, because in the end, it would still be Rin relying on Isagi, the reason why Ego benched him in the first place, and also what Ego tried to fix during his 45-day training. What I'm getting from Rin's writing and narrative so far is it's leaning towards him becoming a solo player, which is why Ego told him to look at his ego this chapter, because he was too reliant on Isagi. If you're a believer in the Nagi coming back mid-England game theory, Isagi might have the choice between ITOSHI Rin and Nagi Seishiro. If he picks Nagi, then Rin will crash out even harder and be forced to play by himself rather than rely on Isagi. To take it even further, if Sai teams up with Isagi after the group stage ends, literally the 2 people Rin has a rivalry with, that would send Rin into a spiral where he needs to reevaluate his ego to compete with them. I just have a feeling that this is all a setup for Rin's character and development in the future, but who knows, I'll be happy regardless if he plays or if he doesn't, because I know Rin's gonna get stronger either way. Very quickly, next chapter title is called Loser Doll, or something along the lines of that, and we actually got a lot of information on it. Supposedly, we're jumping back over to side B, as well as having a talk between Ego and Baratsuta. It specifically said the conflict between them reaches its peak. What will be the fate of BLUELOCK Japan and side B? So the Nagi coming in the England game theory might just be real. If I had to take a guess, maybe Baratsuta is saying we need to win in the next game against England. He'll probably trash talk the BLUELOCK Japan team since they lost to France and suggest they bring Nagi in. Ego will again probably deny that option, but it sounds like the BLUELOCK team and side B team will be colliding very, very soon, unlike what Baratsuta said at the end of the group stage. Which makes me all the more hyped to see what's going on in the next chapter, as well as this game. I'm saying it right here, I think this England game has the potential to be the best out of the group stage games, considering the stakes and development we might get. So be sure to be here next week for that, but that about wraps it up for this video. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts down below. Do you think Rin will end up playing in the England game? What's your expectations for the game in general? Will Nagi come back sooner than we thought? YouTube really thinks you'd like this video right here, so be sure to check that one out too. I appreciate y'all so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one.